François Besse, often referred to as the King of Escapes, was a notorious French criminal famous for his multiple successful prison breaks. His most famous escape occurred in 1987 from La Santé prison in Paris, one of France's most secure and notorious prisons. This daring escape added to Besse's legend as a master of evasion. François Besse was a career criminal with a history of high-profile crimes, including armed robbery and bank heists. He was also known as an accomplice of Jacques Mesrine, the infamous French gangster known as Public Enemy No. 1 in France during the 1970s. Together, they carried out a string of daring robberies and escapes, cementing their reputations as two of the most wanted men in France. After Mesrine's death in a police shootout in 1979, Besse continued his criminal activities, eventually getting arrested and imprisoned multiple times. Despite being caught, Besse had a remarkable talent for breaking out of high-security prisons. By the mid-1980s, he was back behind bars in La Santé prison, one of France's most secure detention centers. On March 8, 1987, François Besse made headlines again with a brilliantly orchestrated escape from La Santé. The plan was meticulous and took advantage of the prison's vulnerabilities, as well as help from outside contacts. The key to his escape was his collaboration with outside accomplices, who arranged for a helicopter to be used in the breakout. Helicopter escapes were not unheard of in France during that period. They have been used in other famous escapes, such as the one carried out by Mesrine himself in the early 1970s. Besse and his accomplices used this method to bypass the prison's fortified walls. On the day of the escape, a helicopter appeared over La Santé prison, hovering above the prison yard. In a spectacular and well-timed operation, Besse managed to get to the prison yard, where he was picked up by the helicopter. The chopper had been commandeered by armed accomplices who forced the pilot to fly to the prison. Once Besse was aboard, the helicopter flew away from the prison before law enforcement could react. The entire operation was executed with precision, and Besse once again vanished from the reach of authorities. The helicopter escape from La Santé stunned French authorities and the public, cementing François Besse's reputation as an escape artist of the highest order. For months, Besse remained at large, eluding capture and continuing his life on the run. His escape from such a secure facility embarrassed French law enforcement, prompting investigations into how such a daring breakout could have been possible. Besse remained a fugitive for several months before being recaptured later in 1987. Despite his escape and repeated run-ins with the law, Besse was eventually sentenced to additional time in prison for his crimes. François Besse's escape from La Santé prison in 1987 remains one of the most daring prison breaks in French history. His ability to outsmart authorities and repeatedly escape from high-security prisons made him a legendary figure in the world of French crime.